Blood Crow's campaign progress. Days elapsed, 197 days. Unit reputation, proven. Financial status, poor. Bankruptcy possible. Financial balance, 154.5 war chest points. Monthly upkeep, 105 war chest points. Staff roster, Commander Diana, Raven, Mech Warriors, Talia, Hammer, Nova, Bullet, and Kieran, Cold Iron. Support staff, 2 mech techs and 1 medical staff. Mech Bay, Griffin, status ready. Hunchback, status ready. And Wasp, status ready. Technical explanation. Mission is drawn from mission deck cards. Terrain details is drawn from separate deployment deck. Mission win/lose conditions. Player wins if prevented opposing force from occupying both control zones. Opposing force wins if both control zones are captured, occupied for 2 consecutive turns. Mission briefing. Operation Broken Shield. Mission type, defend. Threat level, moderate. Location, Karsk Plateau, Southern Periphery. March. Deployment time, 0 to 30 hours, pre-dawn. Weather, rain and flooded irrigation farmlands. Drop tonnage, 320 tons, limit. Intel suggests moderate hostile activity. Mission objectives. Primary, prevent seizure of control zones, Alpha and Bravo. Secondary, hold zones for more than 1 turn before turn 6. Op 4, unit belongs to the Crimson Jackals. Kintaro, medium mech. Whitworth, medium mech, fire support. Locust, scout light mech. Threat is assessed to be moderate. Blood Crow's deployment. Bay 1, Commander Raven, Griffin, medium mech. Bay 2, Mech Warrior Bullet, Hunchback, medium mech. Bay 3, Mech Warrior Hammer, Wasp, light mech. Op 4 deployment. Crimson Jackals Bay 1, Op 4-1, veteran. Kintaro, medium mech. Bay 2, Op 4-2, regular. Whitworth, medium mech. Bay 3, Op 4-3, regular. Locust, light mech. Area of operation. Karsk Plateau, Southern Periohary March. Mobile Field Repair Bay. Defend Repair Bay with control over designated control zones. Deployment overview. Blood Crows deployed on Eastern Edge. Units over designated control zones Alpha and Bravo and Repair Bay. Op 4 deployment zone on Western Edge. Deployment sector defined as agricultural zone, farmlands with irrigation plains. Turn 1, initiative Op 4. The Wolverine never powered down completely. Suspended in the mobile field repair cradle, its fusion plant hovered in a narrow band of controlled instability, too volatile to restart, too valuable to abandon. Floodlights carved hard shadows across the gantry as tech crews worked in disciplined silence. No uplinks, no active broadcasts, everything hardwired. Raven didn't trust quiet. Quiet meant someone else was already listening. Passive ground sensors broke the stillness. Low power returns skirting the perimeter, disciplined and deliberate. "Looks like we have company," Raven said, her voice even as she opened the Lance channel. "I'm moving to see if I can pick up distinct signatures," Bullet replied, already pushing the Hunchback west toward the sensor ghosts. Through rain and haze, the contacts resolved. Missile weight profiles. A Whitworth burst from the western horizon, sprinting for a granary silo. Raven ran her Griffin parallel with Bullet, slipping into the light woods. Seconds later, a heavier silhouette broke from the horizon, dashing to the front of the Whitworth. "Kintaro," Hammer reported as she pushed the Wasp forward. Sensors locked. "Confirmed Kintaro," she said. The Crimson Jackals weren't spreading out. They were vectoring, straight toward Control Zone Alpha. Then the Locust appeared. It screamed through the tree line, fast enough to blur, angling toward Raven's Griffin. The scout didn't fire, didn't maneuver defensively. It watched. Raven fired the PPC, a warning shot that burned empty air. They're in range now, she thought. No turning back. The enemy held fire. Too far. Too disciplined. Turn 1, battle damage summary. At the end of turn 1, no damage took place. Turn 2, initiative. Op 4. The field tightened. Bullet edged the hunchback into Overwatch beside the woods. A C-20 tracking approach vectors. The Whitworth pushed toward Alpha, only to find Hammer's Wasp physically denying the lane. Raven mirrored Bullet, moving parallel to the hunchback and keeping her Griffin masked by foliage. The Kintaro broke south, falling in behind the Locust. As the Kintaro and Locust peeled off from the Whitworth, Hammer surged west, angling for a flank. The Locust dashed towards Objective Bravo, running past Raven, attempting to secure the control zone. Locust making for Bravo, Raven warned as she twisted the Griffin and fired the PPC at minimum range towards the sprinting Locust. The PPC struck the scout's left arm, destroying it. The Locust didn't slow. The Whitworth locked on its missiles at the hunchback, firing both LRM-S10 at Bullet but misses. Bullet twisted the hunchback and aimed both medium lasers at the Locust but misses. The Kintaro fired the LRM-5 towards the hunchback, with missiles crashing into the tree line, narrowly missing the mech. The Locust turned to fire the medium laser into Raven's rear and missed. Turn 2, battle damage summary. At the end of turn 2, only the Locust took damage to its left arm, destroying the arm and further damage to its left torso. Turn 3, initiative, Blood Crows. The board shifted. The Kintaro accelerated toward Control Zone Bravo, closing towards Raven's left. Bullet shifted to meet the Kintaro's approach, rotated the hunchback to shield Raven's flank. Its AC-20 whining, ready to fire. The Whitworth slid in behind its heavier partner, keeping a line formation. Hammer punched south and came up hard on the Whitworth's rear. The Locust sprinted again, ending its run within capture distance to Control Zone Bravo. Raven inched the Griffin, hoping to get a lucky shot at the Locust before it can capture the control zone. The Kintaro fired both LRM and SRM, plus a medium laser at Raven. 4 of the SRM-6 missiles hit the Griffin on the right and left leg, center torso, and left arm. Raven fired both the PPC and LRM at the Locust but missed. The Whitworth fired both LRM-10 at Raven but misses, with missiles hitting the strings of tree lines on its way to the Griffin. Bullet answered with the AC-20 and both medium lasers at the Kintaro. The AC-20 shell tore into the Kintaro's left torso, punching into internals, but nothing breaks. 1 medium laser hit the right arm. The enemy mech staggered from the impact but stayed upright. The Locust skipped firing as it calibrated its approach to occupy the control zone. Hammer lined up her shots and fired into the Whitworth's rear. Only the SRM missiles hit, damaging the Whitworth right arm. Hammer also followed with a kick, damaging the Whitworth left leg. Technical explanation. Mission objectives inject, mission switch. At end of turn 3, roll 1d6. On roll of 1 to 3, mission objective remains unchanged. On end of every next turn, roll again. Each additional turn plus 1 roll modifier. On roll of 4 or higher, Op4 received new orders to eliminate Raven. Blood Crow's new objectives is to evacuate Raven, primary, and remaining units, secondary, at designated extraction point marked Waypoint C. The shift hit like a blade. Encrypted Crimson Jackal traffic spiked across the spectrum. Short, clipped bursts, internal only. Raven's threat display recompiled in real time. Targeting brackets collapsed inward. Only one target, her. Something ain't right, Raven snapped. They're keying on me. You're right, Bullet replied, certainty settling in. The employer's transmission cut in, compressed, urgent. Signals intercepted and decrypted. Enemy force has switched to kill-on-sight targeting against Blood Crow's command elements. Raven exhaled sharply. Damn it, must be the Merrick's. She didn't hesitate. Extraction requested. Authorized extraction marked waypoint Charlie. We're done here. Move west. Now. Roger, Hammer answered. Moving, Bullet confirmed. Behind them, the repair bay lights dimmed as emergency protocols engaged. The defense ended. Now the hunt began. Turn 3, Battle Damage Summary. At the end of Turn 3, the Griffin took damage to its right and left leg, center torso, and left arm. The Kintaro took major damage to its left torso and into the internals and right arm. The Whitworth took hits on its right arm and left leg. Turn 4, Initiative, Op 4. Raven, that locust bait, Bullet warned. Too late. The trap has been set, and Raven has taken the bait. The Crimson Jackals are now able to encircle Raven's Griffin. Bullet moved the hunchback backwards to open the lane for Raven's withdrawal while covering her rear. The Kintaro slid into the woods at the same instant, sealing Raven's extraction route. Raven jumped, clearing flooded farmland and landing hard on the Kintaro's flank. The maneuver carried her just far enough from the Crimson Jackal's entrapment. The Whitworth ran southwards into woods, attempting to cut off Raven's withdrawal route. Hammer stayed glued to the Whitworth's rear, hoping to distract the mech from Raven. Now that the trap has been set, the Locust abandoned the control zone and pivoted cleanly to Raven's right, weapons hot. Bullet fired the AC-20 in both medium lasers at the Kintaro, trying to get the Kintaro to switch its target. However, the shots went horribly wide. Ignoring Bullet's assault, the Kintaro stayed focused and fired both SRM-6 and one medium laser at Raven, but misses too. Hammer fired onto the Whitworth's rear. One missile and the medium laser hit, damaging the right torso and left leg. A melee kick by the Wasp also damaged the Whitworth left leg. The Locust fired its sole medium laser at Raven, but misses. Steadying her jump, Raven fired the PPC at the approaching Locust, hitting the Locust on the left leg and damaging the internals. However, nothing breaks. The Whitworth fired both LRMs the instant the lane opened. 6 LRMs slammed into Raven's cockpit and left arm. The impact hurled her forward against the restraints. Blood splashed across her visor. The Griffin screamed as alarms detonated inside the cockpit. For a heartbeat, the world narrowed to red warning glyphs and static. Raven forced air back into her lungs. Still conscious. This wasn't getting back on a grudge. It was an execution attempt. Turn 4. Battle Damage Summary. At the end of Turn 4, the Whitworth took damage to the right torso and left leg. The Locust took major damage to its left leg into the internals. The Griffin took 2 headshots, inflicting 2 wounds on Raven. Turn 5. Initiative, Op 4. Raven jumped again, landing near the silo, sensors screaming from the multiple locks. The Whitworth jumped and repositioned into nearby woods. Hammer stayed on its tail. The Kintaro ran hard, again trying to cut Raven's line to extraction. Bullet advanced toward the Whitworth, placing the mech within its AC-20 optimum range. The Locust continued west, running into Raven's rear arc. Perched on the rooftop, Raven let loose the LRM missiles at the Kintaro, but misses. The Kintaro returned, fired with its LRMs at the Griffin. 3 missiles struck the Griffin's left torso, left leg, and left arm. Hammer fired again at the Whitworth's rear, but misses. She decided against kicking given the risk involved. With the Raven outside the missile locking range, the Whitworth turned towards the hunchback and fired all its medium lasers and misses. In return, Bullet fired back with the AC-20 and both medium lasers. The AC-20 rounds slammed into the left torso into the internals, while the medium laser hit the right torso. A heat sink cracked from the impact, and the pilot barely kept the mech upright. The Locust fired the medium laser and machine guns at Raven's rear, with only one machine gun hitting the right leg. Turn 5, battle damage summary. At the end of turn 5, the Griffin took damage to its left torso, left and right legs, and left arm. The Whitworth took major damage on the left torso into the internals, breaking a heat sink, and damage to its right torso. Turn 6, initiative, blood crows. The Kintaro crossed flooded farmland into the woods flanking Raven's Griffin. The move forced Raven to jump, landing on the Kintaro's rear. The Whitworth jumped into the neighboring woods, attempting to keep its distance from the Hunchback and setting up a kill zone for the Griffin. Hammer continued to stick to the Whitworth rear by running after the mech. The Locust ran past the Kintaro and positioned itself behind the Griffin's back. Bullets shifted the Hunchback, moving in to support Hammer to pressure the Whitworth. The Kintaro skipped firing as it facing the wrong way, unable to reach any targets in its rear arc. Bullet fired the AC-20 and both medium lasers at the Whitworth. Only the lasers hit the Whitworth on the left arm and left leg. The AC-20 would have made a huge difference if it connects. The Whitworth fired back at the Hunchback with its medium lasers, with only a medium laser hitting the center torso. Hammer continued to fire all weapons at the Whitworth's rear, double teaming with Bullet, but only a single SRM missile landed on the right arm. The Locust fired the medium laser and both machine guns at Raven's rear but misses. Upon landing from the jump, Raven punches the Kintaro but misses too. Turn 6, battle damage summary. At the end of turn 6, the Whitworth took damage to its left and right arms and left leg. The Hunchback took damage to the center torso. Turn 7, initiative. Op 4. Raven jumped again, finally breaking free from the Jackal's encirclement. All right, Crows, waypoint Charlie is in sight. It's time to go home, Raven said. The Griffin has taken a beating, and extraction is within reach. The consistent pressure from Hammer and Bullet finally got onto the Whitworth as the mech warrior abandoned its plan to pursue Raven, jumping over the irrigation plains to seek safety in numbers instead. Hammer jumped onto the extraction point and withdrew from combat. The Jackals are desperate now. With the Blood Crows within reach of the extraction point, the window to bring down the Griffin is closing fast. The Kintaro pushes past the woods, opening a fire lane at Raven. Bullet positioned the Hunchback in front of Griffin to provide cover support. The Locust made a mad dash by running past the Hunchback and stopped at the Griffin's rear, betting everything on this final move. Raven fired all weapons at the Whitworth but misses. The Kintaro fired its LRM-5 at the Griffin, damaging the right arm and left torso. Bullet fired the AC-20 and medium lasers at the Locust, but misses. Pesky little pest, grunted Bullet. The Locust fired at Griffin right, with the medium laser hitting the left torso. The Whitworth, already steaming and running hot, hold fire as it initiates cooldown protocol. And with this signaled that the Jackals had ran out of time, seeing their target withdrawing as both Raven and Bullet moved their mechs onto the extraction point. Turn 7, battle damage summary. At the end of turn 7, the Griffin took damage to the right arm and left torso. Mission debrief. Mission outcome, mission success. Primary objective met. Primary target, Raven, extracted. Secondary objective met. Remaining Blood Crows units extracted. Contract payout confirmed with bonus. Turns taken 7. Mission kills nil. No salvage allocated. 1 mech warrior injury detected. Raven received light head injury. Medical treatment recommended. Friendly mechs sustained light damages. Armor replacements required. Post-battle summary report. Contract payout, 160 war chest points. Salvage payout, capped at 20%. 0 salvage allocated. Total payout, 160 war chest points. Repair costs for 2 damaged mechs, 20 war chest points. Pilot's medical recovery, 3 days for fatigue. Raven warded 7 days for head injury. Medical recovery costs, 10 war chest points. Net payout, positive 130 war chest points. Fund transferred into Blood Crow's account. Experience gain per pilot, 3 XP gain for mission victory. Blood Crow's reputation gained, nil. Level maintained as proven, reputation 6, rating 3 stars. The rain followed them. Not a storm now, just a thin, stubborn veil streaking along the dropship's hull as it burned clear of Karsk Plateau. The Blood Crows regrouped beyond sensor range, engines throttled low, communications locked to tight beam only. Silence held until Diana keyed the channel. Status. Wasp is clear, Talia Kyle said. Mint condition. Hunchback is good too, Nova Tanse added. Just a scratch on the paint coat. And the Wolverine? Diana closed her eyes briefly, seeing it still suspended in the cradle. Lights dim, cables taut. Still there, she said. Still breathing. No one replied. They powered down external feeds and went dark. They didn't crack the transmission immediately. Whatever the Wolverine had done on the plateau hadn't been a broadcast. No flare, no outgoing spike. It had been subtler. It had responded. Kieran isolated the core memory stack and replayed it in passive mode, careful not to trigger another handshake. The encryption unraveled in layers alien to the modern inner sphere. No house cipher, no Star League watermark, just old code, deep code. The header resolved first. Property of Defense Archive Node 7M clearance. Black glass / obsidian veil. Status, asset unaccounted for. That's not periphery, Talia said quietly. No, Nova replied. That's not anyone. Diana leaned closer as older timestamps surfaced, routing logic that bypassed known HPG chains. The Wolverine hadn't called for help. It had answered something that had been waiting. The second truth came from the kill order. Diana dissected the employer's updated intel line by line. It hadn't originated with the Crimson Jackals. It had been forwarded, routed through a Free Worlds League intelligence node masked under civilian logistics. Clean enough for audits, dirty enough for intent. The directive was simple. Target, Diana Fay. Priority, termination. Secondary, recover or deny asset, WVR-X. Collateral, acceptable. They didn't want the site, Talia murmured. They wanted me gone, Diana said. Nova's jaw tightened. Because you were standing next to it when it woke up. Then the final fragment decrypted, buried deep. If recovered by non-state actor, observe, do not engage. Escalation requires political authority. The room went still. They broke their own rules, Talia said. Diana's smile was thin. So someone in the Free Worlds League decided not to wait. She straightened, dried blood still along her hairline. We're off contract that will light the interests of the Free Worlds League. Effective immediately. No one argued. We don't sell the Wolverine. We don't turn it over. And we don't light it up again until I know who built it, who lost it, and why an entire house wants me dead for touching it. She looked once more at the dormant data stream. Someone knows what this mech really is. Her voice lowered. And I'm going to make them tell me. Outside, the dropship burned for the black, carrying a wounded lance, a silent relic, and a secret old enough to start wars. The mission was over. The hunt had just changed direction. Thank you for your support and interest in the Blood Crows project. I hope you're enjoying the videos and the story-driven battle report format. You can help the community grow by subscribing to the channel and sharing the videos and stories from the Blood Crows campaign. Your support and engagement are the biggest motivation to keep this project moving forward. You're also welcome to join and support the Blood Crows Facebook community group, where more frequent and up-to-date battle reports are shared. Finally, your likes, comments, and suggestions are always appreciated and help shape future content. A Blood Crows production,